Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu rules, written and produced by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Strong language, mature scenes, and mature themes are present in this recording. This actual play is part of the Your Scenario, Your Actual Play series for the Miskatonic Repository and Johnstown Compendium. And now, on to the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your keeper, Keeperina. My pronouns are they, them. And tonight we are playing through the second half of Dream House by Evan Pearlman. You can find it on the Miskatonic Repository. Highly recommended. Before I introduce my players for this particular game, I'd like to thank, as always, all of you, our wonderful listeners, and especially you, the Patreon supporters. You keep us going, you keep the lights on, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you. If you would like to see what we offer on the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. And now, let's get to some introductions. To my right.
Hi, it's Nate, your friend Nate on the Discords. And I really hope that in this house of horrors full of hallucinations, that was just a hallucination. Because if that kindly old man really did just get ripped apart, I'm going to have some serious words with Evan about his treatment of the elderly.
And remind us who you're playing.
Oh, of course, I'm playing Buzz.
Yes. All right, and next to Buzz.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I am playing Missy Elliott of the Marblehead Elliots. And yeah, I just saw a person, explode.
You did. Yes, you did. At the end of the table.
Hi, I'm Skip. I am playing Stanley, and I still cannot roll luck to save my life.
No, that'll never change. And last, but by no means least.
Hello, I'm Patrick McNamara of Dogfood Studios, your best friend and the only person who truly understands you. I am playing Clarence Hartford of the Chelsea Hartfords.
So, when last we left off, you had just seen Mr. Knott being ripped to pieces, ethereal pieces, no blood, no gore, no bones, by a horrible creature with glowing red eyes and long claws, and I would like to start off with some sanity rolls.
I got 92. That's rather good, isn't it? That's almost as good as it gets.
All right.
Could be a 62, depends on which way you look at the dice.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Hello there. I have rolled a 58 under 63.
Okay.
So I am sane.
I am not 67 over 38.
16 under 60.
All right. So if you pass, lose 3 points of sanity. And if you fail, so that would be Clarence, you're going to lose 4. So you have just witnessed Mr. Knott being ripped apart. And there's something very strange there as you realize there's no pieces of him anywhere. No blood spray on the walls. What the creature is eating appears to be wisps of something, even as Knott screams. There's no bones scattered around. The pieces of him just sort of fall apart as they are devoured.
I say, stop that at once!
The creature looks at you, Clarence, and it howls.
I howl back.
What do the rest of you do?
I'm going to run into the dining room screaming, and I'm going to go hide under the table.
Okay.
Clarence runs forward and tries to get everyone to stand behind him and sort of points a slightly quivering finger at this creature and says, "Look, we'll have no more of that."
And it gives you this piercing look and stretches out a claw towards you, and you can give me an intelligence roll, Clarence.
I got a 74 over 80.
All right. So, Clarence, you suddenly realize what happened here Mr. Knott was a ghost.
Typical.
As you see his essence being absorbed by this creature, he's dead. And you have a horrible fleeting thought.
What's my horrible fleeting thought?
You think you might be dead too.
Oh, shit.
You all just hear Clarence say, "Oh shit."
I hear it from a distance because I will be running in the other direction. We're in the hallway, right? The central hallway.
Yes, you're in the central hallway.
So, turning around away from this thing, is there a door in front of me?
Okay, so you were just outside the dining room. So are you running towards the front door, or are you running in the direction of the kitchen and the
I'm
mudroom?
running away from the monster, so whichever
Okay.
direction that is.
Towards the front door.
Oh, well then I'm running towards the front door, and in my head there is a cunning plan, and that plan involves turning the handle and getting the fuck out.
All right. So Buzz runs towards the door. Stanley, what are you doing?
Stanley's just going to kind of stare for a moment, look at both Clarence and whatever the heck it is in front of him, and he's going to try to pull Clarence out of the way while he's heading back down the hall, too.
Okay. So Clarence, you are pulled bodily backwards.
Yeah, Clarence doesn't resist because the kind of realization he's just come to has sort of stunned him, and he just follows Stanley as he's sort of pulled away, still staring at the creature as he moves backwards.
All right. So you move backwards. Missy, are you still running into the dining room?
Yeah, in fact, at this point, I'm peeking out through the legs of the chairs at whatever feet are running past me down the hall.
So as you look out towards the rest of them, you see them running down the hallway towards the front door. And then you hear a chittering sound, and you feel things crawling all over you, Missy.
Oh yeah, I'm getting up. I'm up.
And you realize you are covered in rats. You stand up and there are rats crawling all over your body, nibbling at you, their bright red eyes staring deep into your soul, chewing and clawing at you.
Yeah, that's going to be more screaming and running and maybe slamming of my own body against walls in an effort to kill the rats that are attached to me.
Okay. So you start slamming the rats against the walls, lose 1 magic point. The rats fall off. You slam into another wall, more rats fall off. The rest of you hear Missy screaming. And the rats meld themselves into this rolling ball. Their tails undulate and writhe and wriggle as they form a mass and start rolling after you.
After me?
After you.
Oh my god, I gotta run faster. Out to that door. With the rest of the people.
Okay. So the rest of you are running towards the door. And as you run towards the door, you suddenly see in front of you this massive bedsheet rising up in front of the door. And it swoops down at you and envelops all of you, all 3 of you, and starts to suffocate you. What do you do?
So by the 3 of us, that's me, Missy, and Stanley.
You, Buzz, and Stanley. Missy is being chased by a horde of rats.
I mean, a gentleman always carries a pocket knife in 1923. It's just known.
So you'll recall earlier on that I carved a roast dinner.
You did?
Never put that knife away. You can check. You can check the tape.
Check the
Never
tape.
did I say I put down the carving knife. And so, having carried it with me in a manner that I'm surprised no one commented on, given its sinister nature, I begin to sort of hack away at the sheet with the carving knife in an attempt to free myself.
All right, you start hacking away at the sheet, lose 1 magic point. Buzz and Stanley, Clarence is ripping away at the sheet, hacking and slashing. and this sheet is trying to pull tighter and tighter, but Clarence has a massive knife and is that no one commented on the entire time, and is slicing it open. And the two of you can give me int rolls. No.
No.
Okay.
I'm sort of dim. 62 over 50.
Okay. Well, you're about average intelligence. All right. So you cut your way out of the sheet, and it drops to the floor, but starts wriggling.
I'll stomp on it.
Okay, you stomp on it. It disappears.
What the hell's going on in here?
And then you see Missy come screaming down the hallway, and a horde of what looks like writhing, wriggling rats chasing after her.
Where are we at now?
You're by the front door. You'd run down the hall.
Is there like a coat rack or anything like that right here?
No, the coats were in the mudroom, which is on
Okay.
the other end of the hall.
Is there an umbrella stand?
Give me a luck roll.
No.
No? Okay. Now, the umbrella stand is also in the mudroom. You remember seeing it there.
I'm going to try to kick the rats as she
You
runs by.
kick the rats. Okay.
All I can do.
All right. Clarence?
Am I free of the sheet?
Yes. The sheet has now disappeared.
So I've made a realization, I think, that none of the other characters have made yet. Which is that we're all dead already. We're not in imminent danger. The danger has already transpired, with lethal consequences. And sort of in a daze, as soon as I'm free, I begin to walk through into the living room.
Oh.
I just step through as though none of this is happening. And I kneel down in front of the Madonna, and I cross myself and I say, "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." And I just say it over and over again.
The rest of you see Clarence suddenly step through the wall into the living room.
It's another bullshit hallucination.
I mean, I'm obviously having a dream. I want to leave the building.
Okay. You run out of the building.
I want to find the neighbor's house. I have to call someone to pick me up. I have to call Daddy.
Okay. So you run out into the snow. Buzz and Stanley, are you going with her?
I am running in the opposite direction now of this mass of rats. Because
Okay.
I'm terrified of rats.
Yes, you are. You have a horrible phobia of rats. And you remember now even more clearly this being trapped in this small dark space and the rats clawing over you and chewing at you. You remember feeling a rat biting into your throat and you couldn't even scream anymore as it severed your vocal cords. And it's so strong. But you run out the door after Missy. Stanley?
He's going to close his eyes and head in the same direction as Clarence and see what happens.
Give me a power roll.
Wow. I rolled a 6.
Okay. You step through the wall, Stanley, and you suddenly remember. You remember you were in a bedroom in this house, and you remember this. It was impossible, but this bed picked itself up off the floor and flew at you. And it hit you square in the head and knocked you out the window, and you fell to your death. You remember falling and the sound of your own spine breaking.
He'll scream.
Clarence, you look up at the Madonna as you are repeating the Hail Mary over and over, and you can give me an idea roll or a power roll, whichever is higher for you.
I think a 30 will cover it.
You've got a 30?
Yeah.
Well, your intelligence is pretty high, so...
It's 80, yeah. So I got 30 over 80.
So you've got a hard success, which is less than or more than half under. So you suddenly remember talking to Henry in those moments before he was shredded, and you remember him talking about the library and it being safe.
What's the... So I'm not corporeal, right? I just walked straight through a wall, like, consciously. Yes. Does the same thing work up?
You can try.
I try and go up.
Okay. So you try and move up. So give me a power roll. As you hear Stanley suddenly start screaming behind you.
I get a 59.
Okay. So that is under your power.
Over 80, yeah. Mm-hmm. Over 70.
So you start floating up into the air and into the ceiling. And Stanley, you see Clarence suddenly start floating upwards as you are screaming.
And I hold out a hand to Stanley as I float. And I go, "It's okay. We're going upstairs."
Stanley will stop screaming and just eyes wide open will just kind of reach up and try to grab his hand.
You reach up and grab his hand. It feels solid to you. You hold on to it, and he starts pulling you upwards through the ceiling. With a hard success, Clarence, I'll let you take Stanley without him having to make a power roll. So, meanwhile, Buzz and Missy have run outside. You've run out into the blizzard. That's the only word you can use for it now. This howling snowstorm everywhere. You stagger down the icy steps, slipping and tripping over yourselves as you make your way down. And you run down the street as best as you can, fighting the wind, fighting the snow. And you find yourself standing back in front of the house.
Fuck.
I'm calling, Missy, careful. And, whoa, God. This is just like a bad story, Missy. I'm looking for footprints.
There are no footprints.
There's no footprints, Missy. Is the door open?
The door is open.
I'm going to run to Buzz, and I'm just going to hold on to you.
I'll sort of awkwardly stand for a second and then put my arms around... How old is Missy? Is Missy like a
26?
Oh, okay, so we're about the same age. It's not going to let us go. They never let us go in these stories. I mean, this is life. This is real life. Are we cold, Keeper?
Give me power rolls.
So I got 3 zeros, which is a good one, right? That's good.
You got a 100?
That's so good to get all of the zeros.
You suddenly realize with unflinching clarity, Buzz, that you are dead, and you have been through this situation before. This is not the first time. And because you rolled a 100, you are going to make me a sanity roll right now.
Yeah, that sounds right. That was a high roll, 276. I think that's well over my 57 sanity, so failure.
Okay, you're going to lose 6 points of sanity. As you realize that you are dead, and not only are you dead, this is not the first time you have been through this cycle. Give me the int roll. Lucky for you, you're not very smart.
I'm not very smart. I rolled 57 over 50.
Okay.
I'm distracted by this rich young thing in my arms.
You're holding it together, but I think in your involuntary reaction, you stumble backwards and you slip on the ice, and then you realize there's no you to slip on the ice, and your foot goes through the ice, through the pavement.
Missy, catch me. I'm starting to fall.
I'm going to try to catch him.
You catch him.
Wait, do I have to do a power roll?
You haven't had the thought yet.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Depends on if Buzz wants to share that information.
Missy, we're dead. We're dead, Missy.
Now you make me a power roll.
So, assuming that 10s are a 0, 2 10s, which means I also rolled...
Well, you also rolled a 100.
A 100. Legitimately.
Chances of 200s on the trot aren't especially high.
Oh my god. So, Missy, Buzz blurts out, we're dead, and you suddenly understand, yep. And you remember, Missy, this horde of knives flying at you as you were trying to escape down into the basement, and you remember tripping and falling over a rat. There was a rat on the step, and you tripped and you fell as Mr. Knott was screaming behind you as he was stabbed by all these knives, and you remember your neck cracking and your head slamming into the ground, and you know for a fact that you are dead. Give me, we're going to roll your sanity, and better hope you do. You're a very intelligent person, aren't you?
Am I? Oh, fuck. I'm probably the smartest one here. I have a 90 in intelligence.
So you only lose 4 points, though. So you are standing out in the cold, and you look at the house, and you realize it's decrepit. There's broken glass in the windows. There are boards that are falling apart. It's dark. There's no light. This is not the slightly drafty but somewhat cozy house that you came to today.
Well, then I'm just gonna sit down on the stairs and contemplate existence, because I have an int of 90.
A horde of knives suddenly appears in the air and starts rushing towards both of you. There's at least a dozen of them, 2 of them dripping blood.
This time I'm smart enough to dodge.
All right. Give me a dodge roll.
I'm good at dodging. And I'm good enough because I rolled a 26 under 40.
Okay, you beat it. Buzz, these knives are flying at you as well. They're coming from the outside, not from the door.
And my foot is sort of in the ground still.
You can pull it back out.
But my other foot, I'm not fully drained. It's just one foot started.
It's just one foot. Yep, one foot started to sink into the pavement.
I'm not good at dodging, so Missy, holy shit! And I'm going to run back towards the door.
Okay.
And towards the house, which at least is some sort of protection. Plus, I'm dead. What's the worst that can happen?
Well, there was Mr. Knott being ripped apart by that unearthly creature.
Yeah, why did you have to say that?
That was a rhetorical question, Keeper. I did not need to hear the answer.
So, sorry, I just have to intervene here. So here's some things I don't want to hear any more of. I don't want to hear any more of, shouldn't that be a roll, Rena? I don't want to hear any more of, what's the worst that could happen? Skip, you're doing great. No feedback at all. So let's be professionals.
All right, so you run back towards the door. Missy, do you run in after Buzz?
Oh, well then yes, I will run back inside, away from the direction of the knife cannon.
You run back inside. And you can both give me intelligence rolls as you are running.
I rolled a 06 under 90.
Nice. You run back inside, and you can, as you run in, you see Clarence and Stanley rising up through the ceiling, just disappearing through the ceiling, and you have the thought, Missy, maybe they're going to the library. You think safe. Give me a luck roll.
I rolled a 94 over 25.
So you reach for Stanley's ankle as he is being pulled through the ceiling, and you just miss.
I was hoping I got a shoe. I wanted Stanley to have to do the rest of the game with only one shoe. Okay, I missed. Well, can I move a chair over fast enough?
Not at this point, not with a failed luck roll.
Nope, his little piggies go right through the ceiling. All
Yep.
right.
Stanley, you see Missy reaching for you just before your head disappears through the ceiling. And then the rest of you follows.
Think I just saw what the hell's going on here. Claire, can you explain all this?
It's okay, Stanley. There's nothing to worry about. We just have to find the library. We'll be safe in the library. There's nothing we can do, and there's nothing that can happen to us. It's too late now, Stanley, and there's freedom in that. Do you remember Henry said that it was safe in the library, so we're just going to find the library.
All right, so books are going to protect us. All right, gotcha.
So whereabouts are we on the second floor?
So you rise up into the spare bedroom.
Okay, so looking around, I noticed that there's a window behind me. There doesn't seem to be any notable wall aside from the one going. So there's no interconnecting walls between the spare bedroom and the children's bedroom, right? The only door is out into the corridor.
Right.
So I say, okay, Stanley, we're going to... talk about rookie errors. We're going to split up and we're going to find the library. And if anything happens that's bad, we just have a bit of a good old scream.
Mm-hmm. Good at that.
And remember that it's too late. And we don't... Remember that it's too late. And if something tries to hurt you, you just tell it. It's too late.
Okay.
Okay. So you decide to split up. Buzz and Missy, Clarence and Stanley have disappeared through the ceiling. What are you two doing about this?
Wasn't there a staircase in the kitchen?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let's go.
Missy, Stanley said he saw your body in the basement, all knifed up and broken.
We've all been seeing things.
You didn't see me getting eaten up by rats, did you? That wasn't something you saw?
No.
All right, I believe you because you're rich. Let's go.
So you run towards the staircase, and you hear a howling from down the hallway. And you see that creature with the red eyes and the long clawed hands start running towards you as you run up the stairs.
Go, the monster! I think it eats our ghostly bodies, it eats us.
That's a very pleasant thought for you, Missy.
It consumes our vital essence. Yeah, what do we see upstairs?
All right, so you run upstairs, and you see there's a hallway. There's only doors on one side, it looks like, off to your left. None of the doors are open, but does Clarence come floating through the spare room door at this point?
I was thinking of going through the adjoining wall just straight through into the children's bedroom.
Okay. So what about Stanley?
He'll kind of go out the door.
Okay.
And head down towards, I guess, the master bedroom.
Okay. So Missy and Buzz, you see Stanley come floating through the door. His feet are not touching the ground.
Floating. That's a neat trick. All right.
I want to grab him and see if my hand passes through.
You grab for Stanley's arm, and you can touch him.
Is he like a balloon? I'm like, Stanley, you're floating. Quit that. And I'm going to do a little shake.
You hear the howling coming from down below the stairs now.
Never mind that, Stanley. And I'm going to look for a room with a door and get in it and close the door behind.
Okay. So you open the door to the room next to the room Stanley just came out of, which is the children's bedroom. You see Clarence floating in there. It was once a neatly kept room, but you see now the window is broken. The bed is partially destroyed. There's damp and rot and mildew in the walls. but there is what looks like an attic with a rope ladder. That's strange. That's not something that should be in a children's bedroom. And the rope ladder looks new. It doesn't look dilapidated and decrepit like the rest of the room.
Can I want to do a quick spot hidden.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Anything library related specifically, and also is there an immediate source of danger in this rope ladder situation? I got if I were to get a 10 and then a 0.
Okay, so that's a 10.
Oh, yeah, I spotted the fuck out of this thing, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't see anything library related, but you do hear soft jazz music coming out of the space above you.
Love jazz music.
It's pleasant sounding, not like the music coming from the radio downstairs.
I float towards it.
He starts climbing towards the music.
I'm climbing a rope ladder.
Yeah, I'll stick right behind Buzz.
I was going down to the other room.
Okay, so Stanley, you've gone down to the master bedroom, and you see this. You open the door, you see this broken window and this bed that is slammed up against the wall. It's leaning there precariously. There is blood dried all over the walls, all over the floor. Papers are strewn about. There are books knocked over. There is a portrait of a dark-haired man and a woman next to him, holding hands and smiling. And you recognize these people. You saw them before, right? But you can't quite. Macario. That was their name. The Macarios. They were the last tenants of this house before they died very horribly. That's right.
But there's no library or...
You don't see any in here?
I'll kind of walk over to where the bed is and kind of look behind it.
Yeah, there's blood splattered on the wall. There's a rusty old knife on the ground.
I'll pick that up.
Okay, you pick up the rusty knife.
Do I still hear the screaming from the thing coming up?
You hear the howling, yes. It appears closer now.
Is there any alcohol in the room?
Alcohol. Give me a luck roll.
22.
And your luck is 20, so that was so close.
So close.
Yeah, there's no alcohol in here.
Seeing that nobody's followed me in here, I will go back out and kind of go back into the room where everybody else is.
So you run back into the room and holding this rusty knife, and you see the others disappearing through a trapdoor.
Are they climbing or are they just floating?
They're climbing up a rope ladder.
Okay. Is that sound still getting closer from behind?
Oh, yes. Now it's thundering down the hall.
I want to wait until it comes around, and I'm going to throw the knife at it and then try to book up.
Okay, give me a throw roll. And I'm going to make an opposed roll.
Nope. Well, I have a 20 and I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you throw it, you stick it in the shoulder, it howls and disappears as you make your way up the rope ladder. So, Clarence, you're the first one up the ladder, and you open the attic door, and the rest of you follow, and you all find yourselves in what you can only describe as a library. It's a beautiful, timeless, impossible place. There's a large, expensive record player just next to the attic door that you climbed through, playing that soft jazz that you heard, Clarence. There's a fire burning in a marble hearth. This place is huge. It's bigger than it could possibly exist in this house. There's walls and walls of books, shelves stretching down off into darkness, so you can you can barely see how many books there are. There's a drink cart of Edwardian design next to a set of furniture from the Victorian era. There's a wooden lectern in the middle of the room with a thick leather-bound tome on top, long red ribbons spilling from its pages. And you see a tall, dark woman giving you a sad smile standing next to the lectern. A man is standing next to her looking faded. Seems like he barely notices you as you come in. There's a young man sitting on a floral printed Victorian couch looking through a book. He's almost translucent. He's barely there. But you recognize the man and the woman standing by the lectern, Stanley. These are the couple from the picture. These are the Macarios. And you all see various other ghostly forms drifting around them. One of them passes in front of Macario's face, just barely existent.
Those over there are the Macarios. They're the ones who owned the house beforehand.
I approached the Macarios.
Gloria nods at you and says, so you figured it out again?
How many times have we done this?
5, I'd say. You don't always make it here, though. Last time, none of you made it to the library.
What are we doing wrong?
Well, I'm not 100% certain. You understand. There's something horrible in the house.
Oh, really?
Something malevolent that's controlling all of these things. It can't get in here. We're safe in here. That's why we don't leave. You keep leaving. Whenever you come here, you leave, trying to maybe stop it or figure out what's happening. We get devoured by it if we leave the library. And she gestures at all of the wispy forms around her, and you can see she looks very tired, even just these few words that she's spoken. We can't hold ourselves together very long in here. We fade. Pretty soon there will be nothing left of us, Vittorio. She points at the man standing next to her. He's not got long either, but it's better than being ripped apart over and over and over.
Is it?
Yes. It's not as painful.
I mean, how can you be so sure?
Because we've been ripped apart before?
But you haven't faded away quite yet.
No.
It seems to me that fading away if we stay here, and as he says that, Clarence walks over to the drinks tray and pours himself the stiffest possible drink that is available. And then pours another, hands it to Stanley.
Thank you, much obliged.
It seems to me that what we're dealing with here is a certainty. A certainty that if we stay in the library, as one might characterize the actions of a coward, that oblivion is certain. But there is a creature, some form of evil, that is performing these actions, that is putting us through it. And maybe we can't win against it, but we can fight. If the worst it can do is tear us apart, I suspect I've been there before.
I'm sure you have. I know I have. I don't know how many times. Its name is Corbett. Mr. Corbett. He owned the house. I don't know how long ago.
Like Ronnie Corbett?
Walter.
Henry, God rest his soul. I'm sure we'll see him again. He suggested that he was looking for a book, a conspicuous book, even. And I have to say that the book over there has indeed conspict in my presence. Would you mind terribly if I have a read? I will try not to pour spirits on it, if you'll excuse the pun.
Go ahead.
What is the nature of this book?
Okay, so you go over to have a look at the book. It's incomplete. It looks kind of sketchy in places. Some of the pages look faded out. You get the feeling this is the memory of a book, not the physical copy of the book itself. But it's called the Liber Ivonis. It's written in Latin, but there's some translations in the sides, in the margins, little bits and pieces there. But you can scan over it. We'll say that you're doing that, see what the others are up to, and then I'll give you some information about what you read. You just need to take a couple minutes to read through it. So what are the rest of you doing?
Does the alcohol seem real?
Seems real to you in this space. It's got a slight aftertaste, but it feels real.
Sweet. Can I drop a bottle on the ground and smash it?
Sure. It breaks. Liquid slides everywhere.
Can I attempt to cut my own arm with some of the glass to see if I bleed?
Okay, give me a power roll.
I've rolled a 0-2 under 65. So powerful.
All right. So you try to cut through your arm, but your hand just goes right through.
Because I'm so powerful.
Because you are so powerful.
Okay, well, this has completely confirmed it for me. I mean, already the 100 roll earlier. Shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna... I mean, what do we want to do, gents?
Well, if this is real alcohol, it can burn. Right?
I don't know that it's real outside this room. We've never tried taking it out before. There's old bottles still in the living room downstairs. There might be some left in it, but I don't think you can take anything from this room out. This space doesn't exist. It's a figment of magical power to keep us safe.
When you lived here for real, this room didn't exist? Is that what you're saying?
It's not a real room. We found it. George Weber, who lived here before, he used his willpower as a spirit to create this place. That's what he told me when he was still present before he faded away.
So you can fade away. You can just fade away, or do you have to get eaten by this thing? Did he get eaten by this thing and fade away, or do you just fade away if you hang out here?
We slowly lose the ability to hold ourselves together the longer we stay here. If you get devoured, you pop back up again without remembering who and what you are.
But so you're just hanging, you're just waiting? You're just here waiting to fade away into nothing?
I don't want to be ripped apart again. I don't know how many times I've been through it.
Corbett. See, you keep saying all these names, and for some reason they seem familiar, but I know that I don't know them at all, so they can't be. But so this Corbett was an owner too? How do you know it's him that's doing all this? That's like, is he the monster? Is he the thing that's eating the people? Or I guess the ghosts.
He can create extensions of himself. I've seen them, the monster with red eyes.
The red eyes,
Sometimes he's a cloud of daggers, a horde of rats, all sorts of things. And you can give me a power roll here, Buzz, as your power or int, whichever's higher for you.
That's going to be a normal success either way.
As you're having this conversation and Gloria's giving you these names and you're thinking, you remember. You remember. Henry Knott hired the four of you to look into the house. He was trying to rent it out. He'd bought the house after the previous owners had died in mysterious circumstances. And he couldn't find anyone to rent it. And he wanted you to figure out why. Was there something wrong with the house? Was there something occult perhaps going on? and you researched the house. You did a little research, and you found out about George Weber, who had owned the house before, Walter Corbett, an occultist. That's right. And then you all came to the house to try to exorcise his spirit, and you failed so miserably. So miserably. But you remember now.
Now, hurriedly, oh my God, we were real estate investigators. Missy, Clarence, Stanley, that's how we got here in the first place. Remember, Henry was trying to be a landlord. I remember. Oh, what a terrible reason to die. What a terrible reason to be trapped eternally. Helping a goddamn landlord.
Well, now I'm not sorry that he died.
Glad I saw the son of a bitch get ripped apart, but we don't deserve that. Well, maybe Missy does. We don't deserve that. We're hard-working folk.
I'm still trying to figure out what figment means, but if you're telling the truth, then what we did before didn't work.
Oh God, it's almost embarrassing, the memory I have of us. We tried to do an exorcism, but none of us knew how. Clarence, what's that? Does that book maybe talk about doing an exorcism or something? Maybe it helps. Because man, when we tried it the first time, it was terrible.
So, Clarence, what you've learned from reading this book, you've learned a few things. It's only from the notes in the margins because you can't read Latin. But what you get is that there's some kind of spell that was in this book, but George Weber, when he created the memory of this book, must not have remembered the spell because you can't see it here. But a person can escape death by using a ritual and leaving their body protected and undisturbed somewhere. And they can gather power by feasting on fear and anguish. They can gather magic that way, keep themselves in this strange, half spiritual, half physical self. And the last thing you learn is that if the physical body is destroyed, the spiritual self, the powerful self, is also destroyed because it needs the body to feed itself.
Yeah, I recount this information to the group.
So we have to destroy the body. And there's only one place we haven't gone yet. One place we've been warded off from going into. The basement.
Didn't you all go to the basement?
And then we're promptly terrified out of it.
Oh, well, that's what you get. Well, chaps and of course, chapesses.
Not chapette?
I mean, I've always gone with the more formal chapess, but perhaps this is a regional variant. It strikes me that we have a choice. We can stay here listening to this increasingly interminable jazz and drink this. Well, I mean, I have no complaints about the drinks. Actually, this is quite good. Or we can attempt to find the body of this beastly Corbett character, destroy it, and perhaps escape whatever miserable hell we're in. Now, if we stay here, we fade away. If we leave, then, well, we don't know what happens. Perhaps a devouring, in which case we start this again with no memory of the pain, so, who really gives a shit?
Well, I did throw a rusty knife at it and it disappeared. I don't know if that did anything or it was just playing mind games.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if it doesn't like having rusty knives thrown at it, we'll just throw other stuff at it. This thing doesn't sound so bad. But yes, we make our way to the basement, we attempt to find the body, and if we don't manage to do so, well, better luck next time.
We could just try again.
Or we could just burn the house down.
We keep trying until we get bored of doing that, and then we could just fade away. This is a no-lose situation. I've never been in a no-lose situation like this before. Clarence, nothing can go wrong here.
Clarence says, I agree. What's the worst that could happen? Now, look, fellows, there's a real chance that this isn't the run. You know? Can we leave ourselves a message somehow to help us next time? Could we scroll a note on our whatever equivalent of bodies this is, saying, hey, just go straight to the attic, you'll save yourself a lot of time?
I'm going to pull up my sleeve to see if I already have a note written to myself on my forearm that I just never thought to look for.
This is not Memento, so no.
Thinking about it, if I thought of this, then I've probably thought about it before, which means it's not going to work. Look, I'm not going to tell any given ghost in this scenario what to do. That isn't my place. But I will tell you that I've rather enjoyed your company, and I'm going to go down to the basement and try and kill this fucking thing. And if you'll join me, then, well, I believe we'll have a better shot. And of course, let me tell you something about me in particular that I think will make you more likely to join, which is, I'm not a terribly fast runner, so you don't really need to outrun Mr. Corbett. You just have to run faster than me. And he smiles and he holds up his drink, downs it, and says, it's really rather a poor show that I'm not drunk yet. I'm going to have to try harder. And he walks back over to the drinks tray, and he takes Stanley's presumably empty glass from his hand, pours them both another, hands it back to him.
That's the best speech I've ever heard.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you. I wonder if I've had better ones before, but I thought this was pretty good.
It's very touching. Now let's go kill this son of a bitch.
I'm with you, Stanley. Missy?
Right behind you.
And Buzz?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. And Stanley, grab that knife that you threw on the way back and any other rusty implements. Let's do this.
You make your way out of the attic. Gloria Macario just sort of waves and says, I'll see you again.
I'll go back. Okay, out of curiosity, Gloria, does he do that speech each time?
Only once so far.
But it's not the first time. So he's already done that speech. We've already failed that. Oh, something will be different. Something will be different this time. Hey, Gloria, we're not going to see you again. This is it. This is the time.
I sure hope not. And she smiles kind of sadly and gives you a half wave, very much lacking in confidence, as you float down out of the attic back into the children's bedroom, and you look up and you realize there's no attic door and no ladder there anymore.
Well, it seems like we've made our decision then. There's no going back now.
It's a one-way trip.
Do I see that knife?
Yes, the knife is still there.
I will pick it up.
All right. So you're making your way to the basement?
Yeah.
Are you picking up anything else along your way?
Yeah, I'm going to pick up some liquor on the way through. Something.
Okay. There's some broken bottles, partially broken at the neck, but still have some kind of amber-colored liquid full of dust in them.
Yeah, any time I walk past something that could plausibly alcoholic, I take it with me.
Okay.
Any paper?
Oh, there's plenty of paper around. Most of it is damp with mold and mildew, but you can find some paper.
Okay. I'm going to try to put it in there so I can light it if I have to.
I am a generous god.
When we hit the kitchen, I'm going to look for that knife block and pull out some of those knives. Maybe pass one to Missy.
I will definitely take it.
I'll grab the poker. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you grab the poker, and suitably armed, you make your way to the basement door. You open the door, and you start making your way down into the dark.
Careful, one of these steps is gone. I remember when we came down the first time, it was tricky.
Yep. I'll point it out.
Have we established the marital status of Mr. Corbett?
He was single as far as you know.
Okay.
You find that you're able to see fairly well in the dark now that you realize you're not bound by the normal laws of physics. And you head down into the basement. And you are suddenly beset upon by a cloud of dust. It feels like coal dust. It starts filling your mouth, your nose, your lungs as you start choking and gasping as you head into this thick, dark cloud. I'd like all of you to make me Constitution rolls.
Do it. Constitution.
I got a 10 and a 9, so 109.
19, you're good.
28.
Okay.
I'll do a point of luck and make it a hard success.
Okay.
And I squeaked by 68 under 70.
Okay. So you shake your heads and you cough and cough, and you cough all the smoke and the dust out of your lungs. And you are in the basement. You see now that there are wet patches on the walls where the paneling was. There's dried blood. Missy, you shudder unconsciously as you step past what must be your own blood there on the floor. There's water pooling in corners. It's a very unpleasant space for you.
Missy, that's where Stanley saw your body, where that blood patch is now, but we didn't see the blood patch before. So that must be more realistic.
Ignore it. Stay on the mission.
The walls didn't look like this either. Like it wasn't so... Stanley, when we were here before, it wasn't like this. It wasn't all destroyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're seeing things more clear. Maybe we're gaining some sort of power over this.
And as you say that, you hear a loud, evil
Ah, Mr. Corbett. I'm glad you've joined us. I was just repudiating the virtue of your mother.
As you say that, appearing before you is a ghastly figure of what used to be a man. He's pale, hairless, completely naked, except for a gold medallion around his neck. He's tall and stretched out. His limbs are too long and too thin. His face is ruined. His nose is gone, long since worn away. His thin, bloodless lips are stretched over rotten teeth, sharpened into fangs. His eyes are burning with a smoldering fire that look with hate and hunger at you as you all make me sanity rolls.
Okay, because I got 97.
What's your sanity?
It's higher than it's less than 97. 66.
Okay, it's not a fumble,
Okay.
just bad. Buzz?
Well, I've rolled 59, which is not a bad roll, except my sanity at this point is 51.
Okay. Missy?
I have rolled a 10 under 56.
So you just lose 1 point of sanity? Stanley?
I rolled a 27 out of 34, so I made it.
Okay, so you also lose 1. All right, so Clarence and Buzz, on the other hand, are going to lose some san here. So Clarence, you lose 4 points of sanity.
Okay. Oh.
Buzz, you're going to lose 6.
Yeesh.
I could never stand the sight of an ancient naked man.
Are you below your threshold or no?
I am well below my threshold.
Okay, so you're going to have an automatic bout of madness as your mind starts to shatter. Interesting. You go into a bout of hysterics. Laughing, crying, shrieking. You are overcome with these hysterics, and you're not going to be able to act for the next round because you are so overcome.
Then that's what I will be doing, loudly and hysterically cackling and pointing and making schoolyard jokes about Corbett's nakedness, Corbett's size.
Excellent. So we're now going to go into dexterity order. So, Clarence, you are going to go first at 75. You have this hideous thing in front of you.
Could I use spot hidden to see if I can detect a weakness in him?
Okay. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I got... Oh, tabarnak. I got... Funny enough, I think it actually landed on... So it was either a 6 or a 9, and then it fell off the table and it was a 6, which I consider a sign from God that it was... that I got 60. 60 over 70.
Okay. So you're looking over his body, and you remember that with the previous manifestations or whatever they were, you were able to cut things, you were able to make things disappear, essentially. But you know that if you destroy his physical body, it will make him disappear. You're not sure if this is his physical body or not.
Okay. Then I relay this this insight to my fellows. I say we need to destroy the body. His apparitions don't matter, whether this is his apparition or not. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't try and kill him, but if it doesn't work, we can try something else.
Does Corbett actually, when I'm sure he hears that, does he look anywhere?
On your turn, you can give me a roll.
Okay.
Clarence, would you like to act against the body or look for something? What would you like to do?
Oh, I can do another thing? Oh, I thought that was it. Well, then I'm going to... So I want to try and distract it. And the way I'm going to distract it is I'm going to hurl myself at it with my poker and try and hit it as hard as I can to establish whether it's a manifestation or the body. And as I do that, I'm going to repudiate the virtue of its mother again.
Fantastic. All right. So give me a fighting brawl roll. And it's going to fight back with a horde of rats that are going to start clambering over you, nibbling and chewing.
So if I recall earlier, I thought I had a 100, and in fact it turned out I had a 10, and I was delighted. On this occasion, I believe that I have in fact rolled a 100.
Okay. So that is a fumble.
Sure is.
Bad things happen. So Corbett was attacking back with this horde of rats that are chewing all over you, and you feel yourself start to lose bits of your essence as he is going to drain 6 magic points from you.
Oh. Okay.
And the rest of you see that Clarence suddenly looks a bit more transparent. All right, next is Buzz.
I'm hysterical.
So you don't get to act on this round because you are still laughing and choking and
I
giggling.
don't even get to try and dance with Missy
You can.
on the deck of the Titanic here.
So it is actually Missy's go next, and Buzz is trying to dance with you in this horrible situation.
So we've already tried to attack Orbit physically. The apparition that's in the room. Have we determined that it's an apparition?
You haven't determined if it's real or the apparition yet.
Well, can I throw something? Can I pick up some debris off the floor and throw it?
Give me a throw roll.
Give me a throw roll. Of course, it's a throw.
You got your knives.
You did say you were throwing.
I would rather roll language French. Oh, nope, I did not put many points in. Nobody put points in throw. Default throw. Come on, roll low, roll low. Oh, shit! Yo! That's a hard success, and I only have 20 in throw. I rolled a 0.
Nice.
Oh, nice. That's a hard success. Okay. So you throw this debris at him. It hits him.
Okay, so he's physically there.
It is now Corbett's turn. Corbett is going to attack you, Missy, with a cloud of knives that are going to come stabbing out at you from all around. It gives you flashbacks to the knives that flew at you but hit Henry in your actual life, whenever that was, however long ago. And you can give me a dodge roll if you would like to dodge it, or if you have something else in mind that you would like to do.
I have rolled a 77.
Okay. So you feel these knives stabbing into you, burning and ripping away at you as you lose 5 magic points. And you feel yourself fading slightly.
Understood.
Keep track of your magic points. Let me know if you hit 0.
I am at 7.
All right. Stanley.
Did he look when he was talking about where find the body?
Well, you just saw Missy throw something at him and it hit him.
Okay.
Which suggests this may be his physical form.
Okay. Then I will try to light the bottle I have and throw him and hopefully catch him on fire. Because old guys burn, right?
Okay, so you're going to make me a POW roll first to throw this.
Okay.
And then you're going to make me a throw roll.
All right, pow. Okay, I rolled a 24 and I have a 40 pow, so that
Okay,
succeeds.
so you're physically able to. Now give me the throw roll to see if you actually hit him.
Okay. I will spend the 6 points of luck and make that happen.
Okay, so this bottle comes flying through the air and smashes into Corbett's forehead, and there is now fire all around him. And he starts howling this horrible, horrible shriek. Clarence, the rats are gone. Corbett is now on fire.
Oh, I mean, I love this for him. He's not enjoying the fire at all. It doesn't seem like, does it?
No.
So just tell me if this doesn't make sense. Can I do a psychology roll? I want to see if I can figure out something. So I've tried insulting his mother. It didn't work terribly well. I want to see if he has something else that if I can find some psychological weakness in him. Because we've experienced a lot of the ways he tries to scare people. We found out a little bit about him and who he is. Can I try a psychology roll to just see if I figured out anything that I can use against him?
Give me a psychology roll.
80 over 50. So I spend a luck. I got 15 luck now.
All right. That's great for you. I love this for you. So you realize as you're studying him, now that the rats have fallen away, that he's half insane, if not completely insane. There's a crazed look in his eyes. But you know from your previous encounters with him and the fact that he's taken on this half-life through this spell, he's terrified of dying. That is his greatest fear, is being afraid of death. And that is why he has held on to life in this horrible form. That's why he keeps attacking the people who come in, why he's made you relive everything. He's draining your essence so that he himself can stay alive.
I start to laugh. Hollow peals of mocking laughter at him. Just the way that only an Englishman with this kind of accent can. Just the most condescending laughter at him. And I point at him and say, "You're scared, aren't you? You're trying to scare us so much. You're trying so hard, but it's you that's scared, isn't it? And you know what? You know what we did when we encountered fear? We faced it. You awful, ghastly, scared, cowardly little man. You really think you can beat us? You wretched, craven fool. If we don't get you this time, it'll be next time. Because there's nothing in this world that impresses me less than a coward. And then I spit at him.
Give me an opposed power roll.
Well, what did you get?
I got a 27.
Oh, that's quite good. What's the push situation on opposed rolls?
Because I liked this so much, I'll allow you to push it, but I will tell you that something will be very, very bad if you fail.
You are an incredible... I've only known you for 5 minutes, and I can already tell that you are an incredible disappointment to your parents, who I fucked.
Give me that roll.
And I did even worse. I got 89. There's no lucking out of that
God.
one.
You can't spend luck on push rolls. So you taunt him, and he looks at you like he's very confused for a moment. Like you see his head tilt, and the fire in his eyes kind of goes out for a moment as he's trying to figure out what the fuck is happening. And then you throw that second taunt at him, and he just laughs. And he laughs, and he points a crooked finger at you, and you feel your mouth sealing over.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's no longer there, and you lose 6 magic points.
All right, I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah, I'm done. Do I have time to say something inspiring?
As your mouth is closing up? Sure.
Say...
So the rest of you see Clarence suddenly pulled apart. He's ripped into shreds as Corbett is reaching a hand out to him, and you see these bits and pieces of Clarence, these pieces of his essence flowing into Corbett, and he looks like he's growing taller. And Clarence is no more. So how do you react to that, Buzz, as you end your cackling fit?
Well, that's upsetting. Super upsetting. I wonder if I could make use of my occult skill, which I see is 15, 10 over the
Sure.
base of 5. So I've obviously studied and looked into it a little bit as an antiquarian, which again has nothing to do with horses. It's all to do with history. Because I'm thinking back about, as I watch Clarence get ripped apart, I think, Clarence was the one who read that book. And now that's gone, but so now I'm gonna try and figure out, looking at this naked creature, revenant, naked except for that necklace. If I can do something 33, which is not a Delta Green crit. I have 50 luck. I would love to make that a success, a normal occult success, if maybe that'll give me some ideas or hints as I stop dancing.
You think there's something about the medallion that may be helping him in his whatever it is he's doing to your minds? Yeah, there's something about that medallion. It's got strange symbols on it.
And so I will sort of yell to the rest, the other two, there's got to be something on that medallion, and I'll take that one of the carving knives or the fillet knife, the boning knife, and I'm going to try and go lunge at Corbett.
Okay.
And try and cut down on the chain of that medallion and just rip it off. Use the knife as leverage to rip it off.
Give me a fighting brawl.
My base fighting brawl, which is 25.
Oh my god, I rolled a 1.
Well,
did you roll a?
We did it,
Did you
guys.
roll a 1 too, Nate? Did you also roll a 1? Is it a 1?
no, I did not roll a 1. I don't even think I rolled another. I rolled good 28.
So he reaches out to you, and you see his eyes turn bright red, and this massive coal dust again starts filling your mouth, your nose, and your throat, and you start choking on it as you lose 4 magic points. Missy, you see Buzz trying to cut the medallion off of Corbett, and then he suddenly staggers back, and his eyes are wide in terror as he's coughing and choking and spitting this black gooey dust out of his mouth.
That sucks for him. I'm stabbing Corbett in the head.
The medallion might also be a good place to stab. You hear from beyond?
Okay, fine. I'm going to angle the knife for the medallion. I shall do that.
Give me a fighting brawl.
Fighting brawl.
Your rolls have been pretty good tonight, so I'm sure you can do it.
Base 25%. Oh my god, that's so good. Okay, cool, sweet. I mean, it's not so good, but it's acceptable. But it's the fact that, like, I was like, I have to roll, and the first number popped up, and it was a 2, and then the next number popped up, and it was a 3. I rolled a 23 under 25.
Nice. So you reach over and you cut the medallion off, and it falls off to the ground. And he lets out a roar. It is now his go, and he's going to essentially attempt to attack you physically this time, Missy, as he reaches out with these long clawed fingers, and he's muttering something to himself, and he's going to attempt to essentially rake you across the chest. So I'd like you to give me a dodge or a fight back.
I'm gonna do dodge. Do I get an automatic reroll on a 69?
This is not pretending to be people, but it is nice.
Nice.
Okay, so you are being raked across the chest, but you don't feel like blood or anything being seeping out of you. You feel part of your essence ripped away as he claws into your chest. And you lose 4 magic points.
Okay, I'm at 3 magic points.
Ooh. All right. Stanley?
Okay, so the medallion's on the floor.
He's still on fire.
He's still on fire, so he's still
Yes.
taking some fire damage,
He's
right?
still taking damage. I am keeping track of it, I promise.
Okay. Do I crush the medallion or do I stab the baddie? I'm going to crush the medallion. I'm just going to stab it down with that rusty knife and see what happens.
All right, so you stab down at it with the rusty knife. Give me a power roll.
Okay. It's a normal success.
Normal success. All right, you beat it. So this dagger, unknown to you, has some properties in it, and you stab down into the medallion, and the medallion cracks, and Corbett lets out a howl. He's still there, but he lets out a howl.
Okay.
So, Buzz, Corbett is howling. He's on fire. Missy is mostly transparent at this point. You have had chunks of yourself ripped away. Clarence is gone.
Well, I see I have 2 choices. I can run up the stairs while Corbett is all distracted and just leave. Or I can take that kitchen knife and I can plunge it straight into that thing's heart location where I would assume the heart is. But who the hell knows what pumps within this terrible apparition?
Okay. He's going to fight back.
I will spend 22. Well, I'll spend 22 points of luck to get me down to a 25. Normal success.
Can you spend it to a hard?
Let me see. 22, 8, 2, 8. I cannot.
Okay.
2, 340. I only have 10 left. I would need to get 25. I need to get to 12 and a half. I'm so I cannot.
Oh, okay. Because I rolled a 14. So he claws you across the face. You feel more of yourself sort of peeling away. Stanley, you can see bits of Buzz floating away and into Corbett's mouth. And the fire seems a little bit dimmer.
It's healing him every time he takes parts of us.
You lose 4 magic points, Buzz.
4. I'm at 4.
Okay. Buzz seems mostly translucent as well as Missy at this point, but they are fighting on. Missy?
I mean, I still have my knife.
You do.
Okay, now I'm gonna stab him in the head.
Okay.
Head stab.
Head stab. All right, give me the fighting brawl.
Can I spend luck?
Yeah, you can spend luck.
Okay, sweet. I spend 1 point of luck to turn my 21 into a 20. Wait, hold on. I had 25 for brawl. Never mind. I'm fine. I did fine.
You stab him in the head. Give me a d6. D6 damage. Plus damage bonus if you have one, but I don't think Missy does.
I actually did roll a 6.
Okay, excellent.
Head stab.
You stab him in the head, and there's cerebrospinal fluid leaking down out of his skull.
Delicious.
It's nasty. It is absolutely nasty. Okay, it is his turn, and he is going to attack you again, Missy, because you are the one who is stabbing him right now. Dodge
if he
or fight
hits,
back.
I'm pretty much dead. I'm gonna dodge.
Okay.
Ooh, not good. I failed. I rolled a 90.
Okay. I got a regular success. So you lose
Put me out of my misery.
5 magic points.
Yeah, I'm at -2.
So Stanley, who is so far uninjured, you see Missy fade away as just she falls apart, and Corbett sucks it up. You have noticed, Stanley, I will give you this, that he hasn't been manifesting the rats or the knives or anything since you ripped the medallion off. He's only been physically attacking.
Okay. I am going to physically attack him with this knife. That is a 4 out of a 60.
Ooh, impale. Okay, that is an impale. So you're going to do maximum damage plus roll damage. Do you have a damage bonus?
I do not.
Okay. So that's going to be 3 damage plus, 4 damage, sorry, plus roll a d4.
D4? Okay. 3.
Okay, so you do 7 points of damage, and he starts pulling back. You see he's bleeding out of the chest. He's hissing. He's scowling. Buzz. Corbett is damaged. He's backing away. Missy and Clarence are gone.
Can I sneak up behind him?
Give me a stealth
and
roll.
Give him that. Give him the 1-2 right in the back. A 78 probably isn't stealthy. No.
So if you attack him, he will get a chance to fight back, but you can
All right.
go
Well,
up
that's why I'm
behind
going to
him.
attack him.
Mhm.
Come on, teeth dice. Haha, 19.
Okay, you beat him.
I can make that an impale too, with all my luck.
Do it.
And I will do that, and that will give me a 1d3 plus 1d4, so I've got a 7.
So 7 plus.
Plus, let me do a 1d. I'm going to roll for you, Rena, my d4 from my original D&D set, 1979, that I colored the actual
Nice.
numbers
I
in
have one of those.
myself.
Do it.
And it rolled me a 4.
All right.
So 14.
So, with every ounce of your fading strength, you stab into him, and he lets out a horrific shriek, and the whole house shakes, and the fire suddenly goes out. And then you all find yourselves standing outside the house. It's cold. You don't feel it. You see Clarence. You see Missy. You see Mr. Knott standing there looking a bit bewildered. And you don't know what you're going to do next. You didn't know if you were going to disappear. You didn't know if there was an afterlife. Just appears you're here now, still in your ghostly forms, but you're standing outside the house in the cold, and you find yourselves able to walk away slowly this Halloween night, finally freed from the house of Mr. Corbett. And that is where we will end this game. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to my wonderful players. And please check out the scenario Dream House on DriveThruRPG. If you enjoyed this scenario, please reach out to us, let us know, and let Evan, the writer, know that you enjoyed his scenario as well. Thank you, and good night.